Hi, this is Hugh Cushing from WhiteSource, and this is another in a series of videos about our Bitbucket integration. This one I'm going to talk about viewing the results of Bitbucket scan from WhiteSource. All right, if you go into a repository where our integration has been enabled, first of all, you'll see a quick summary at the top of the repository, the source page of the repository, showing how many vulnerabilities you've got and of what severity. More specifically, if you want to see the current vulnerabilities and possibly license violations that are present, you can click on this little icon here on the left when you're in the repository, which is the WhiteSource integration element. Okay, you'll see that there are, and here there are a bunch of issues. Okay, and let's just pick one really quickly. Well, take the first one, why not? To show you the types of details that you can get. So you just click on them to expand. It's a little difficult to see how to expand it, but you can just, all you have to do is click on the title and it will expand, and subsections expand the same way. So you'll see here, we found the vulnerability here, CVE 2021-21344. Here's the library, extreme-1.4.5.jar. Here's the description for it. Here's where you included it in your project. Here's where we pulled it out of your repository in multiple places. And here's the dependency hierarchy. This is worth a note. If you directly call an open source library, we call that a direct dependency. And in this case, the code here referred to and imported stuff from the Extreme library directly. So this is a direct dependency. You may also get vulnerabilities that have what we call for transitive dependencies. Let me show you one of those. If you expand this one, and then you expand the vulnerable library section, you'll see that the vulnerable library is here, but that's actually not something you may have even heard of, because it's actually contained within a library that was contained within the original open source library. Okay, so this is what we call a transitive dependency. But nevertheless, if you still want to see where that's brought in, you can see that the WebWolf dependency is declared in this POM file within this directory within your repository. All right. Back to the original example here. This is a direct dependency, and it was found in the base branch master. Okay, so you can tell where the vulnerability was found branch-wise. Obviously, there's more vulnerability details here if you expand as well. A quick summary here, but more importantly, if you click on it, it will bring you to the WhiteSource database entry for that vulnerability, which gives you a lot of helpful information. Third section we give you for a vulnerability is CVSS score, version 3 in our case, 9.8. So CVSS, if you don't know it, is a scale from 1 to 10 that says how severe the vulnerability is, and this is a 9.8, which is a very severe vulnerability. And finally, we have the suggested fix. All right. Now, WhiteSource Remediate is always going to recommend the minimum jump that you need to make in order to fix this vulnerability. Right? So in this case, the recommendation is to upgrade the version to version 1.4.16, and our basis for that recommendation is this advisory here. Okay. Sometimes you'll see automatic remediation is available for this security vulnerability. That means that a pull request has already been created for it. If you don't see that, if you see check this box to open an automated fix PR, it means that just that. If you check this box, then a pull request will be created. We'll talk about that more in another video, but basically whether it happens automatically or manually is determined by your WhiteSource administrator, who can turn on integration rules to say what things get automatic pull requests created for them. Now, these details are what you can get directly within Bitbucket. Okay, you can get them here, and you can get the same types of results if you go to various commits within your commit history here. And there you can also discover what happens with the WhiteSource security check as well. All right? But basically, security vulnerabilities and optionally license policy violations, or the extent of what you're going to see in the Bitbucket integration, because that's what concerns you generally while you're developing. However, you also can get more detail in the WhiteSource UI. We'll talk more about this in another video, but basically you're going to get a project in the WhiteSource UI called BB underscore, and then the short name of the Bitbucket project. And here you have a lot more detail about the same vulnerabilities, and you can do reports such as getting an inventory about the report, and lots of other data. Now, if you find a situation where you're not sure what's going on with the scan, the easiest thing that you can do is to go to the current commit and take a look at the status of the build. This icon, this is a Bitbucket icon, not a WhiteSource icon. It says the build, in this case, the WhiteSource scan, is in progress. If you click on that, it will show you the two things that are running, or perhaps three things, depending on what you have turned on, because we're not running a license check here on this one. When a job in the Bitbucket integration finishes successfully, you'll get a passed checkbox. You may get a failed checkbox as well, and that will either contain the vulnerabilities that it found, or perhaps that there's an error. Maybe the containers were down. If something's in progress and you click on it, you'll see the security check is currently scanning your repository for vulnerabilities. Refresh this page for scan results. The typical length is about 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. So if you're waiting more than about 15 minutes, then either your containers, the WhiteSource containers on your premises there that are running the integration are either overloaded or something's gone wrong. So I'd wait about 10-15 minutes, and if it's still showing that it's currently scanning your repositories, then you might want to ping your Bitbucket or your WhiteSource administrators.
Thank you for watching this presentation, and if you have further questions, please reach out to your WhiteSource representative, or you can visit our website for more information.